what is anger and how to control it. What is anger? Anger is the act of losing control over one's own self and trying to make the other person the victim. Okay, so what is this losing control over one's own self and making the other person victim? Well, losing control is you're making my mind completely weak and unthinkable or non thinkable, and finally making the other person whom we are with or whom we are talking to with or wherever the person can be physical or virtual, the victim. Uh, let's learn the art of controlling anger and being peaceful within and outside too. So, how do we control this anger? What do we do when we get angry? We shout out, we yell, we scream. So, fortunately or unfortunately, there's someone with us. Maybe when we are at home, we start shouting and we start yelling at them, and we show our complete wrong side, which definitely makes the other person feel really bad about our own self. And all this time, we were all thinking that the victim is the other person who's getting the scoldings, who's being hurt. Let me clear you this. No, the victim is not the person who's getting scoldings or he's been hurt. Maybe what the victim is me alone, because I may get angry with the person or with myself for some reason, and if I find somebody at home, it can be my spouse, it can be my kids, my family, like my parents, all these are my first circle, wherein I generally, like, what we do, we start showing our anger, our frustration, everything on them. And you think they're going to take it? Yes, they will take it. They feel bad, they feel hurt, but it's just for that moment. But after you scold them, do whatever tantrums and everything, um, they keep quiet and they move on. Okay, so coming to the point of how to control anger. So all this time I told you what is anger and the victim and about the victim. So how to control the anger? So whenever we get angry, we always try to throw our tantrums on the person whom we are living with. It can be a spouse, a kids. These are the closest first circle relationships we are with, wherein we throw our anger in and we take them for granted. And the same thing we don't do outside. Like when we are angry, when I'm angry, I don't go to my office and yell at my boss or I yell at my colleagues, right? So because I know I have a responsibility and I'm aware that I'm not supposed to. But when I'm angry at home, I have all the rights to yell at my spouse, my kids, whoever I'm living with. It can be my parents, everybody, because we take them for granted. So the victim here are these people whom we try to interact with or throw our tantrums on. So how do we control this? So first of all, we have to have the conscious thinking, that conscious thinking, awareness that yes, I get angry and I am the creator of this anger. I am not supposed to blame anyone for this. So what I do? So just swallow the thought which you have it, right? The anger, when it rises, you have thousands of words or hundreds of words you want to throw it on someone, right? So what we would do is we just try to shout out. So instead of that, why don't we keep it inside and let that battle of thoughts happen inside? So maybe you're angry on one thought. So when you start battling inside, the one thought doesn't come outside and never hurts anyone, because the one becomes one inside, and finally 1 multiplied by 0 becomes a 0. So you don't have any thoughts inside, and finally you become normal. Instead of throwing it on somebody and multiplying the words like 1 into 2 into 3 into, and it goes to hundreds, and finally who's the victim? The victim is not the other person again. So the victim is me alone. So let's all learn how to control this the art of controlling this anger. So let's all learn the art of controlling this anger and be happy with ourselves and everyone around. Thank you.